Now we can move on to the next topic of the week. And while I fix something else, baby, can you mind reading it again?
So, news from WWE. Mandy Rose has been released by the WWE due to risque FanTime content. According to Fightful's Sean Ross Sapp via Fightful Select, former WWE NXT Women's Champion Mandy Rose was released by the company today due to the content she has posted on her FanTime page. WWE officials felt they were put in a tough position, but hasn't made any official announcement regarding this release. And Rose is still currently listed on WWE's active roster page on its official website.
I think this is interesting news for two reasons. One, I've never heard of FanTime.
Me
but
either.
I looked it up. I tried to find whatever the heck they were talking about. And only things that I could find was something that the stuff that was less risque than what they make their divas do anyway. And I'll get into that a little bit later. But for whatever it was, I don't know if there was the actual nipple that was shown on her FanTime site.
Lord, was it
or
a
not.
nipple?
But if it was just her just being unclothed or barely clothed or some side boob or whatever like that, the WWE has done that a lot with a lot of their female wrestlers. And so at first when I saw this news, I thought this was just a gimmick. This was just the excuse for her to finally lose her belt because where she started off in the main roster of WWE, then they brought her down to back to the developmental stage, which is called the NXT show, and she dominated that and she's the champion. I thought now it's okay. Now that she's dominated that for a couple of years, now it's time to bring her back to the main show, and I thought that's what this was. But now it's looking like no, this is real, and this is another firing that doesn't seem justified, and the reason that they're given doesn't make any damn sense. Oh, she violated our.
It sounds like she stood up to somebody who had their panties in a wad and maybe their ego bruised, and this was the retaliation and how they took care of it. That's what
before.
This is
it's
what it
happened
feels
before
like to me.
in the WWE. But for whatever reason that Mandy Rose, I mean, she
You may have not. Nixon says that FanTime is a subscription service. And
yeah,
it is very
so
similar
just
to
like OF,
OnlyFans.
just like OF.
So you may not have been able to see
He's like, no, I paid for it.
the bad, the bad stuff that they are referring to because you're not a subscribing member. Or she pulled it down
I
hastily
paid my
after she got in trouble.
Could've taken it
$9.99, and I still did not see what they gather around the FanTime, the FaceTime children. Let's look at these boobies. I still didn't see anything that made any sense for a firing. Like I said, unless it was like I mean, I don't know, I don't care. But either way it goes, here's something.
But like with most jobs, a lot of places have like social media contract. I mean, like just regular jobs that will let you know. It doesn't really matter what you're putting. We don't want it out there. Period. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to assume that
And this is why I'm my own boss. I can't.
that it may not have been anything bad, but if she was making other money, they might have been like, yeah,
Yeah.
you're not allowed to do that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have our permission. You didn't ask us. We don't get a cut of any of that. So
Yeah, it's
therefore,
all about money.
And
So
that's what it's really
therefore,
about. The fact that they're
all
not
about
getting
money.
a cut from it, so they're hitting her about it. So no, that's what it's really about. That's what it's really about. The fact that they're not getting a cut out of it, because, and I'm pulling up a website right now. Let me see if it works here on this screen. No, sorry, it's gonna blank it out. Let me pull it up here.
just trying to pull up some OnlyFans content.
We're about to see his account.
There we go. Password WWE P and the G. So one person on here said that this doesn't make any sense because there have been WWE divas who have posed for Playboy.
I know.
I can vouch for that. I used to own.
I can vouch for that.
I used to
is what
own.
we
There
just
were
heard.
there were two divas that posed for Playboy at the same time. They were all over each other, and I owned those because I thought they were limited editions, and I kept them for years. I lost them during my divorce.
I owned those.
Not that when I say I lost them in the divorce, I don't mean that my ex-wife got rid of them. I mean that during that time I don't know why they got they moved and they got lost in the trash. So maybe she did throw them away. I don't know. She never liked them, and I stood my ground and I was like, I'm not giving up these boobs. So the website Game 7 talks about Mandy Rose has been one of the WWE's biggest and most notable stars for a long time. Unfortunately, her run with the organization came to an end this week. The cause, her provocative content that she opted to share with fans. Sean Rose Saps broke the news on Wednesday. Let's see. Sean Rose said on Twitter, Fightful Select has learned that Mandy Rose has been released from the WWE. WWE officials felt that they were put in a tough position. You heard that a couple of times. Based on the content she was posting on her FanTime page. They felt like it was outside of the parameters of the WWE deal.
Hold on.
Parameters.
Hold on. So I don't know who this person is, but the Y2 Gems, the last time they had anyone pose for Playboy was almost 15 years ago. Things have changed since then. Yeah, we've become more progressive
No, but
and
have
accepting of the fact of these things are real.
I think
breasts
they mean
changed?
that in the WWE, a lot of the ladies back then were more of they weren't
They weren't
the
superstars
big-
like the way the men are today.
they weren't the big winners of things. They were just a show, just a picture, just a
Yeah.
a-
They did bikini contests a lot
Yeah.
back in the day
Oh,
and stuff
yeah.
like that. But then a couple of years ago, there was what they called a women's revolution in the WWE. And now WWE women wrestlers have gained a new respect. And I can vouch for this. Back when I used to attend live events and watching it live on TV, back in the day, whenever women wrestlers got in the ring, men and women
I'm
in
sorry.
the audience would get up and go, "This is time to take a bathroom break."
Here's the deal.
Now they're
No.
the main event.
This is hypocritical in its definition. They are allowing women, they made money off all these women who didn't have a choice in the matter and had to dress scandalous and had all big boobies out, wrestling with all this crap.
To be
Now,
fair, men
no,
are
no, no.
only wearing underwear.
True, but they sexualized women substantially. And now
Yes.
that a woman is choosing, she is choosing her own
I didn't say it was
sexuality.
right. I didn't say it was right. I'm just
she
saying
is
that's
choosing
what
it. She's
they're-
going, this is
You're
my
right.
sexuality. This is me choosing to do this. And it's not some man telling her she has to do it. It's now an effing problem. No freaking thank
This
you.
is mob mentality.
You didn't give me a cut. You didn't give daddy his
No,
cut.
that's some effing bullshit. And I'm not down with that crap. It's hypocritical.
Mm-hmm.
And just because she's choosing to be sexual with her own freaking body, it's now wrong. But when men were choosing it for her, it was supposedly okay.
Yeah.
And they made money on
We
it.
can put you
No,
on Playboy if you
my
go through the
feminism's
prop.
coming out right now,
If
y'all.
you go through the proper channels, but if you don't go through the proper channels, and we see you on the OF or the FT sites, and then it's like, well, you know what? This is a family show.
No, I'm still just getting angry.
I also see Y2 Germ says they also most of them have contracts with Mattel, which produces kids toys.
Barbie, which is the biggest breasted
Well,
doll
no,
out there in
but-
the
Yeah.
world.
I'm
Yeah.
sure
Not
their
progressive.
What
you got now?
Wait, Mattel? Yeah.
We don't want our name associated.
And I guess this
OnlyFans
is I guess
type.
this is the FaceTime image that we have on the screen, because this person blocked out her chest area, so she's in the pool, and I guess maybe you could see the nipple and stuff. Now,
So freaking what?
but
Guess what it does?
yeah.
It feeds babies. Guess what else it does? The only person
You're-
that's sexualizing it is the person looking at it. If you see the nipple and all you think is,
You're
that
not-
feeds a
yeah,
baby.
but you're-
Or do you see a nipple and go, I'd like to be on that?
But the men in
That's
the world
you.
that have sexualized the female nipple, you're not going to change their mind within right
Well,
now.
I mean, we already have enough issues. With
But a lot of
that
progress
where
has been made.
Nobody says a word when a girl runs around in a bikini all day.
Oh, God, it
But
just
as soon as
Except
they
fucking
except
makes me
male
angry.
Karens.
As soon
I've
as
seen
they-
TikTok videos where guys.
no, but as soon as a woman puts a baby on a boob, they're all like, "Ma'am, That's really,
Oh, I know.
that's really gross.
Yeah.
My children are watching. It's really indecent. Like, you weren't bothered when that girl walked over there half naked, but you're bothered by the baby eating?
Y'all gotta stop me.
That was
I'm getting on my feminism box. Y'all don't
That
want
was
this.
different.
Y'all don't want
That's
this.
always the BS excuse that people always say.
Yeah.
You weren't bothered by that 19-year-old wearing that bikini, but when a mother feeds her child, you have now all of a sudden you want to call the cop. That was different, Tabitha. like I don't mind it when you wear a bikini, but I don't like her wearing a bikini because yours are smaller. Or something, whatever stupid the stupid thing that pervert wants to put on another person. That was different. When the cops show up, that's always the BS excuse they always say. How come that guy? I can't. How come that guy can do it, but this other person can't do it? That was different.
Can't with you.
What do you guys think about this whole nonsensical mess that that's the wrong image. That's this whole thing that's going on with Mandy Rose, and not only that, like I said, when she was brought down to the developmental stage that she was at, and she dominated it because she wasn't doing as great in the main show, but then they brought her down. Instead of firing her, they brought her down to the developmental stage again. She dominated that. As champion, she was on a path to being the longest female champion on that show in history, and before she hit that record, I think if I'm right about this, Y2 German, correct me if I'm wrong, they fired her before she hit that record, and which shocked everybody, but so which was like, okay, so this must be real because she was about to beat that record as champion on that show, and they fired her before she got to it. So I was telling Joy earlier today that ever since social media with wrestling, back in the day, wrestling fans they didn't like to be told that wrestling is fake. Then wrestling fans didn't like to be talked to like they were stupid. So the whole is it fake, is it not fake thing, they stopped arguing that. They acknowledge that it is fake. And with social media, there's no going back. Now fans they know it's fake and they want to see what you're doing in real life. So it's like, if WWE wants to fix this PR problem, they can ride that line again. Yes, we fired her in real life because she did this and that and the other, but this still makes a great story. So if we bring her back, we can then now bring her, now that we screwed her over in the developmental stage, now we can bring her back to the main roster and she can have this real chip on her shoulder.
If this is a fucking storyline, I'm going to be pissed.
I don't think it's a storyline, but it can be if they want to fix this. They can now make it a storyline because the line between fake and real has now been shattered.
Chris really loves WWE.
I know. It's like a freaking soap opera. It's too much drama.
It's the men's soap opera.
It's too much drama. My head hurts.
But female wrestling fans are it's just like comic books. Back in the day, people thought that comic books were all just for boys. Comic book readers are 50% men and 50% women. And video
comics.
games.
We watch
and the
Sex
same
Life
thing with
of
wrestling.
the college girls that
Wait, what? Wait, hold on. Wait,
I know. All
I'm
I
not
heard
going
was
to jail.
college
Wait,
girls.
what?
What was he watching?
All I heard was college girls. Say that again.
that comedy we watch on HBO.
Oh, the HBO show called The Sex Lives of College Girls.
It's a
I watch it for the articles.
I don't really even know why they call it that because
it makes me feel like a pervert for watching it because my daughter is currently in college right now.
It's just it's a comedy about.
And I don't want to think about that whenever Natalie's at school. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? I just saw HBO Max. What are you doing?
One of the character is a guy, and the girl that they're kind of dating now.
He's banging.
He likes WWE, and she's like, they kind of decided she was on a thing where she felt like they all had to like the same things, and then he was like, we don't have to like the same things. And she goes, good, because I don't really want to watch I don't like the wrestling stuff. The storylines are really lame. And he goes...
And she says, it's fake. And he's like, no, that's real.
Excuse me, that is real. And she just looks at him and goes...
And he goes,
I'm kidding.
I'm just kidding. I'm not an idiot. I'm not an idiot. Like.
But he said it's so serious. He was like,
She was like,
"Excuse me."
shit.
No, but what he
No.
said before that made a lot of sense because he said that what he said before that made a lot of sense because he said that she wanted to break up with him because we don't have a lot of things in common. And he says, "Do you have a lot of things in common with your female friends and your roommates and stuff? Like no. So why, if it can work with them, what's the difference? Why would you don't have a lot of in common with your female friends? So why would you need to have a lot of in common with with me?"
I have a lot in common with my female friends. What the fuck is he talking about?
I'm paraphrasing it. I'm not saying it as
Well, I think
eloquent
because
that
I mean
he said it.
they didn't pick their roommates. You know, you just get thrown
Roommates I
together,
can see, yes.
and
Yeah.
they've all
Yes.
become very good friends. But they're all very
and they
different
didn't have
people.
anything in common, but then they worked it out, and now their relationship is great.
Okay.
He was making the same exact point. We met. We don't have a lot in common, but that doesn't mean that this needs to end because of that. Opposites do attract. Is basically.
Well, they've been getting along. She was just getting paranoid. Like, we're like super different people. Like,
Yeah, but the dick.
I think we need to break up because we're like, why are we even?
we don't have anything in
dating?
common, but what
And he
that
was
dick
like,
do?
He is
Because
known,
her
he is
roommates
known
were
for that on the
hearing
show.
through the wall.
Oh. Got you.
And they were
Got you.
like, we're
they
all
got
gonna,
a lot in common.
They're like, we're gonna
Yeah.
rip our ears off because I can't listen to.
Didn't
this
I say that
anymore.
when didn't I say that to you when we were watching that episode when she's like, we don't have anything in common? Yeah, you do. You got that one thing in common. His.
Yeah. Yeah.
What? Let us know what you guys think about things that you have in common with Mandy Rose, and if her firing was fair. I hope even if it is real, they can spin this and then bring her back after the fact. Let's move on to the next topic.
Guys, that's the end of this episode of The Rundown. Remember to like this video, become a subscriber, and share. This really does help us out. And click here or here. Thanks for watching.